What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Burrows Bottoms Fantasy Channel. Surprises. Some of us hate them, some of us love them, and some of us would rather know in advance. Today I'm going to go over the biggest surprises to the 2024 football season through the first 5 weeks. The biggest elephant in the room, and the first surprise I'll go over, is the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings this season were supposed to be in a somewhat rebuild phase, losing their franchise QB in Kirk Cousins and drafting J.J. McCarthy with the 10th overall pick in the draft. This season was supposed to be developing their young QB, getting him more comfortable with moving the ball in the NFL, instead of throwing 20 checkdowns a game and handing the ball off constantly to his running back. However, that dream quickly ended when McCarthy went down with a knee injury in the preseason, and it looked like Sam Darnold was going to be the replacement QB, not the good kind, like Keanu Reeves. We thought that this team would be one of the worst in the league, losing the NFC North by a mile. But then, the season started and Sammy Sling showed us all what he could do. The Vikings are now undefeated, leading the NFC North and the rest of the league. Sam Darnold has looked like one of the best QBs this year. Aaron Jones looks like the old Aaron Jones, at least before his hip injury. And Jettis keeps doing Jettis things. An absolutely positive, surprising season for Vikings fans. Like seeing your toxic ex completely disheveled while you're living your best life. Another surprising team, but this not in a good way. My precious Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are currently 1-4, sitting tied at the bottom of the AFC North with the Cleveland Browns. Whenever you are at the same level as a serial massage enjoyer, you know you're at a low point in life. Bengals have started slow over the past couple of years, but have never gone 1-4. They've dropped a couple of somewhat easy games to the Patriots and Commanders and lost their other two to game-winning field goals by the Ravens and Chiefs. This Bengals team has proven that it can move the ball offensively, but defensively it struggles overall. Another big takeaway I've seen from watching these games is that our game management needs to be better. I'm not saying Zach Taylor is failing this organization, but with a couple of better play calls, the Bengals could be sitting at 3-2 or even 4-1 right now. We expected this Bengals team to hopefully make another run like they did in the 2021 season, but right now I doubt they can even make it to the playoffs. As a disappointed Bengals fan, I can say that this has not been a positive surprise, and I wish the Bengals could right the ship. Our third surprising team that we're going to go over is the San Francisco 49ers. The Super Bowl losing 49ers seem to be continuing where they left off in the Super Bowl, going 2-3 so far throughout the season. We all thought that with the Brandon Ayuk contract, the Niners would be at the exact same spot they were last season, but it doesn't appear so. Without CMC, they have found a replacement back in Jordan Mason who's been playing great, but the Niners haven't been able to close out tight games, losing to both the Rams and Cardinals by a single score. They didn't lose too many important pieces during the offseason, but I think with running a very similar scheme to last season, teams are starting to figure them out and game plan properly for them. After all, they pretty much have all of last year's footage to go through when trying to figure out how to beat this team. The Niners have just looked stale so far. Without something being able to spice this team up, I expect a very bland season for the rest of the way. The Niners organization as a whole is acting like they have tendonitis in both legs, as I haven't seen the explosivity that made them a powerhouse last year. The penultimate surprising team this year is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are in a pretty similar spot as my Cincinnati Bengals. The Jags are sitting at 1-4 as well this year, with a somewhat young quarterback who just got paid a lot of money. The Jags' first 4 games looked pretty bad, with a lackluster offense and a mid-defense to back it up. Trevor Lawrence has not looked like his Clemson self, and has been playing like that one volleyball player who could possibly be his long-lost twin. The Jaguars' offense looked pretty good against a poor Colts defense in Week 5, putting up 37 total points, including a beautiful touchdown to Brian Thomas Jr. Other than this week, the Jaguars have just looked stale, like they were trying to cling on to their playoff win 2 years ago against the Chargers. I think the organization needs shaken up if they can't right the ship, and I think Doug Peterson's chair might be getting hotter than the sun beating down on Everbank Stadium in mid-July. The Jaguars really need to find their spark, as they could be a wildcard team and even squeak by with a win if they really worked hard and put their minds to it. I hope after Week 5 that the Jaguars take a look at what helped them win this week and continue to replicate it over the next coming games. Our fifth and final surprise team this year is the 4-1 Washington Commanders. The Commanders were coming off a very bad season last year, and no one expected a second coming of the Houston Texans. But the Commanders are showing that it's happening all over again. Jaden Daniels has had a few times where it really shows he's a rookie, but otherwise he's been playing outstanding. His rushing upside is definitely there, and he's getting it done through the air as well. Dan Quinn is showing us all his 2016 Falcons self, effectively managing the team and navigating them to win in some pretty handily wins. The Commanders' defense has been pretty lackluster so far, however. They did hold the Browns to 13 total points. Dan Quinn's specialty is his defense, so if he can get the Commanders' defense to look somewhat similar to the Cowboys last year, I think this Commanders team will be a force to be reckoned with. Cliff Kingsbury is showing us what he did in Kyler's rookie year, and I think that so long as the rest of the NFL doesn't figure out Kingsbury's scheme, the Commanders could be looking at a deep run in the playoffs this year. Thanks for watching today's video, and let me know if you have any other surprises that have already happened in the season, or any predictions you have for surprises in the rest of the season. Peace.